Hello beautiful people of TOPWAR, you guys asked me to do an evaluation on this new hero called Hiccup coming from this new collaboration with the Dragons, and that's exactly what we're gonna do in this episode in a very beautiful way with a lot of numbers showing you also what marches as of right now are the best for the Air Force. So here we go, this is the new hero called Hiccup, and this is an offense buffing hero exclusively only for the Air Force, giving you a 135% attack enhancement, but this value actually gonna go even higher as is depending on your hero word stats. So let's briefly analyze this hero because I have two great news when it comes down to Hiccup. But also, not necessarily one bad news, it's actually a warning. So since that is super important, and I would hate to forget to add that in this episode, we're actually going to start with a warning because this hero and his match will going to perform very differently when you are attacking opponents which are protected by weakness towers. Especially if you do not have morale 10 right now, which allows you to bypass these game mechanics. Good, so this hero has a passive skill, and this is super important to mention so we know exactly what runes would be the best for this hero. So obviously, if you have the possibility to equip Artillery Storm, that definitely helps a lot as it's increasing the attack enhancement, and if you do not have the Artillery Storm, well, your options are kind of very limited because this hero has a passive skill, meaning in other words, yes, runes which add extra ignition or vulnerability or debilitation or even magnetic pulse, this type of runes requires a hero to have an active skill, and he does not have that. So the only option is actually to use either damage increase or damage decrease depending on what piece of gear you have. But of course, when it comes down to the other type of runes, I strongly advise you to use the flammable because the hero has ignition by default. And the Steel Torrent is also a great alternative. And if you have a look at the optional add-ons, these runes right here will not gonna work. Again, he has no active skill, therefore the only option is actually in this case the damage increase, and the same goes also for the portable GPS. The only option is again the damage increase. So now let's have a look at his passive skill because it actually has two components. So when your Air Force units hit a slot from your opponent with a regular attack, and if that slot actually has ignition, it's going to randomly add a 30% ignition on two other slots. Now let's mention something very important here, and it has something to do with the encirclement units. So on slot number 7 and on slot number 9, different unit type in order to get that extra buff, which by the way River Game needs badly an upgrade because it's not worth it. And also in this case I strongly advise you not to use the encirclement units and go full with Air Force units. And while we are at this topic, suggestions for the TOPWAR team, yes, this is another thing which needs badly your attention, and that's the suppressions buffs, as these are as old as the game is. And in order indeed for the design of this game to actually work, I would suggest a higher buff on these stats. And now beautiful people, to the important part of this hero, making him an absolutely amazing choice, because for each successful application of this ignition, all your units will gonna get a 10% damage increase, and this can go up to 300%, which is absolutely massive, and it's gonna play a massive role when it comes down to which heroes would fit best with Mr. Hiccup. But more on this topic when we're gonna discuss the battle reports, because yes, we have that too. The last part of his passive skill is, at the start of each round, is gonna apply 130% ignition on one random slot. And of course, let's talk about the exclusive skill, because I have a good news and I have a good news. And you're gonna see that's also in the battle reports. While of course the level 5, it's an improvement, this hero is very free to play friendly because even without any exclusive skill, it's gonna perform very well, and you're gonna see that. If we have a look at the level 7 exclusive skill, sure it does look amazing, but also at the same time, one level 7 equals 9 level 5, or in other words, yeah, with these resources you can get level 5 exclusive on all 9 heroes for your tanks, for your planes, and for your navy. And I would not recommend this to players to start the grind, as you're gonna need 729 level 1 exclusive skill to reach that, before you have a solid setup on your navy and a solid setup on your tanks with the minimum requirements, at least on some of those heroes, meaning, yeah, an exclusive level 5. Good. So now let's jump into the battle reports. So let's actually start with this setup, which basically, in other words, compares the old offense buffing hero for the Air Force, in this case Bradley. And why Bradley? Because I've done a lot of tests on a lot of new accounts, and there Tigris is not available, but it's kind of the same thing. And we've done 10 attacks in this configuration, with Bradley attacking while Hiccup is defending, and another 10 attacks with Hiccup attacking while Bradley is defending. So here are the results. From 20 battle reports in total, Bradley's setup actually won only 4 times, while the setup with Hiccup won 16 times. But I have a number for you, because these 20 battle reports show me that the setup with Hiccup is actually 22.4% better than the setup with Bradley. And that was also the reason why I said that Hiccup is a great hero from the free-to-play perspective, as even with level 0, he will perform slightly better than Bradley. And now let's slowly work towards which heroes would perform best with Mr. Hiccup as an offense buffing hero. And obviously we have 2 great support heroes. One is Abbat and the other one is Jet, and their design is slightly different. Therefore, it's definitely worth to see 10 attacks like this, with Abbat being the attacker while Jet is defending, and then another 10 attacks in which Jet is going to be attacking while Abbat is going to be defending. And from 20 battle reports, I had 11 times the setup with Jet winning, while only 9 times the setup with Abbat won. But I must add something on top, because even if the Abbat setup actually won 9 times, those battle results were extremely close. Meaning, in other words, Jet's March only had a couple of units still left alive. So super close battles. Therefore, based on these 20 battle reports, the difference between these 2 setups show a 12.2% better performance in this configuration with Mr. Jet. But now let's go one step further, because there are 2 ways to set up your match. We have 2 incredible, great support heroes. And by the way, their HP buff will actually gonna stack, and together with Hiccup, while not using Vivian, which is the indestructible hero. So how will this look like? So that's exactly what we're gonna have a look now. 2 support heroes, no indestructible hero, plus this awesome offense buffing hero Hiccup, versus a match in which I have used Abbat as a support hero together with Vivian, which is the indestructible hero, and together with Hiccup. And again, I've done 20 battle reports, 10 attacks, with the support heroes attacking the match with the indestructible hero, and another 10 attacks in which the setup with the indestructible hero is the attacker, while the setup with 2 support heroes are actually defending. And from 20 attacks, beautiful people, this match with the 2 support heroes won 14 battles, while the setup with Vivian, the indestructible buff hero, won only 6 times. And that's exactly what also the numbers are showing. Because in this case, the setup with 2 support heroes is approximately 9.6% better than the setup with an indestructible buff. And honestly speaking, this is not a big surprise for me. So anyways, beautiful people, this is my video on Hiccup, an absolutely fantastic hero, super free-to-play friendly, as it's already gonna give you a very solid performance, even without the exclusive skill, which is gonna be slightly higher than Tigris or Bradley with level 5. Obviously, the level 5 exclusive skill for him is worth it. And what's left is to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you like to convince me to do more videos on TOPWAR, all you have to do doesn't cost you any money, because you should subscribe to this channel. Obviously, watch my videos till the end, as that helps and motivates me far more than you can imagine. Share this channel with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one.